Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna almost wrap up the wiring on my old classic Chevrolet pickup. Done a bunch of wiring the other day. Forgot the camera at home, so I didn't get to video it. But here's what I've been up to. I know it looks like a bit like a rat's nest right now, but this is the last of the wiring. The taillight wires are all run, taillights are done, and everything from here goes in wire loom to each taillight. So it's neater than it looks right now. That'll be all wrapped up. The reason that looks a little rough is because I had so many wires to do. I run one ground wire back here. This is all brand new wire from about under the driver's seat back. And when I started up there, I went to the frame, ground the place off, and started with a good ground there with a bolt and star washers. So once the ground was complete, I put some fluid film on it to keep it from corroding and rusting. So yeah, let me show you how I did those wires. I just went to Napa yesterday and bought a bunch of new the uninsulated butt connectors. If you're interested in these, they're in my Amazon store, link below. As with most of my stuff is in my Amazon store. Most of the tools and parts that I use are in there. So if you're interested in that stuff, go check it out. Let me show you. Let me show you here with a piece of scrap wire. Here, I got a couple scraps. So what I've been doing, because you have a wire and then you need the wire to come off of it. Just pretend these are the same color. You need a wire to come off that to go somewhere else. This is going somewhere else. It's like park lights. Come back here with a park light wire, and then you go to each tail light with a park light wire, and then you've got a park light and a marker light in there. So you got a wide out there, and then in the middle you got license plate lights. You got a wide out there, and then a lot of wires. Like I say, the ground came back, and my goodness, we needed. I run a ground to each tail light for the light sockets. Another one for the 7-way. I'm going to go ahead and wire a 7-way trailer plug so that I can pull a trailer. So we're going to do that today. But let me show you how I do this real quick. The way I've been doing these wires is I put the wires together, use the appropriate size butt connector, crimp that, then what I've been doing is I put just a dollop of dielectric grease in that Y between those wires. Just a dollop. Then I've been putting them together, taping it so they can't spread apart. Just come back here and tape them together nice and tight. Now I'm not going to waste a piece of heat shrink, but then I would put my other wire in this side, and then of course before you slide a piece of heat shrink tubing over there and you just heat shrink everything. And this is marine grade heat shrink tubing, so it actually has an adhesive in it, sealer, I guess. But that's how I've been doing all those Ys. I don't know if that's going to work, but I think it will. Should be pretty waterproof. The dielectric grease so that water can't, hopefully, water can't leak between the two wires and get into my connection and cause corrosion. Like I say, will it work? Not sure. Probably will. It's definitely better than just using butt connectors. And I have heat shrink butt connectors too. But you know, every time you squeeze those, every time you crimp them, you make a little hole in that heat shrink. And so I just don't feel that those are super waterproof. I use them a lot in an area where, you know, total waterproof is not all that important. You know, if it's just water resistant, I think they're good to go. But I think this is the way to go if you're trying to make a, you know, watertight connection. And yes, you could solder the wires. That would probably be better, but that takes a lot of time. So let's get started wiring this 7-way, and then we'll wire it to the truck. Alrighty. Man, we used to wire a ton of these things back in the day. Back in the day, when I first started in the RV business, trucks didn't even come with 7-way plugs. You had to wire everybody that wanted to pull a trailer had to go somewhere and get either a 4-way or a 7-way or 6-way or whatever kind of trailer they were pulling. Had to go somewhere and get that wired or do it themselves. You know, people used to do a lot more stuff themselves. All right, let's start by running our 7-way wire through our plug. Don't really matter, but that's a habit I got into, because you don't want to wire this whole thing and then realize that you don't have your cover on, because then you get to unwire it and rewire it again. You don't want to do that. Or I don't. You might. I don't. So let's start by stripping this wire back a little bit to expose our 7 conductors. Go back about 1.5 inches. Very gently cut that cover. Mostly you just want to score that and then tear it. That way you know you're not getting into your wires inside. See, that's perfect. Get rid of this paper. I don't know what the paper's for. Come in here with our wire strippers. Yellow is for backup lights. We're not going to use that. We're just going to snip it off, but we will use the other 6 connectors. So let's strip the insulation back on those. Just about 3/8 of an inch. Like a good healthy 3/8. Get all those done. Well, the reason we cut that backup light off, the wire off, is because No trailers have backup lights anymore. Very few anyway. So to get all these screws loosened up to the maximum amount we can loosen them without them falling out. So that center one is the backup, so we're not going to use it. We will use all the other 6. The plug here has colors written on it, and they correspond exactly with the color in our wire. So I'm going to show you one, and then I'm going to go around and do the rest of them. I'm not going to bore you with that. So this one's white. Let's take the white wire. Put it under the little bracket thingy. Tighten the screw. You know what? I didn't strip them quite enough. It's been a while since I've done one of these, folks. So let's go basically about a 1/2 inch. A short 1/2 inch. Okay. I'll go around and do all those others too. Find the white post again. Main thing is you want to get all the wires under the screw, under that little bracket. You don't want any wires hanging out, because that just causes issues. Snug that screw up good. I'm going to do that 6 more times. And then we're going to double check after we get everything wired, make sure our wire colors are all right. And then we'll be right back. All right, final wire here. Sometimes as you're putting these wires on, the screws will actually vibrate back in. They almost always vibrate in, which is good. It's better than vibrating out and losing the screw in a little bracket thing. All right, just go around and check everything, make sure it's nice and snug. All right, like I said, we'll go around and double check our colors. Make sure we didn't do anything stupid. We're all good. Now, something I have always done with my 7 ways is put a little battery terminal protector. Why that? Well, that was all we had back in the day. That's all I knew about. So what I'll do is spray the back side of this so it's protected from corrosion. This stuff works pretty good too. Get it hosed down real good, and then you slide this back together. Alright. Now there's a certain way this has to go back down in here. There's a tying inside, and then there's a relief on the part we just wired. So you got to get that down in there like so. There we go. Now we put our screws back in that we took out in the beginning. That holds it all together. Just like so. This particular 7-way car end has 2 screws. Some only have 1. And don't forget your screw that holds the wire in the back of the plug. Keeps her from ever being, being able to pull that out or anything. Well, supposedly. All right, there's our 7-way. It is ready to put on the truck. Here's how I'm making all of my connections. On these, we're just going color to color, because that's the way I've wired it. Strip that wire back just about 1/4 inch or so. Slide the appropriate size heat shrink tubing over the wire. Choose a side, don't matter. Put your uninsulated butt connector on. Crimp it real good. Put the other wire in. Crimp it real good. Tug. Slide the heat shrink tubing down where the connector's in the middle. Fire up your Lexicon butane torch in my Amazon store. And shrink the tubing. Since there's no Y here, that's why I'm not using any dielectric grease or anything. And that makes a nice watertight fitting. Not a fitting, it's a connection. So yeah, I'm gonna just finish off them others and then we'll test it. All right, let's test the tail lights and the 7-way. Now I've got the backup lights on, left turn, park lights. Good to go. All right. Good to go here. And I know I don't have the screws in the lenses yet. I've got to finish up the gaskets. Now let's try the 7-way. Oh, and yeah, and I've still got to get my license plate lights. They'll be in UPS today. Okay. So we got left turn, no parks. Oh, there we go. Wasn't plugged in all the way. Brand new plug. All right, let's try right turn. There's right turn on the truck and on the 7-way. I'll turn all that off, push the brake. Y'all let me know if the brake light comes on. So I don't have a brake controller in here yet in the truck, so can't test that. And I don't have the charge line hooked up yet. I'll do charge line when I do the brake controller. Oh, the big brake light wasn't gonna light up. Should have just been left turn, right turn. Because the big light is for the brake controller. So yeah, hopefully y'all saw the left and the right turn, which is the same as the brake. Okay, let me go back underneath, wrap everything up, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all wrapped up. Hopefully it'll look nice and neat, I hope. All right, all wrapped up. See, can't hardly even see it. Everything's zip tied up out of the way where it won't get damaged or nothing like that. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. The taillight wiring and the 7-way wiring is almost complete. As soon as I get the license plate lights wired in. So yeah. Thanks for watching. I don't know what we'll be doing next time, but we'll figure out something. Hopefully y'all show up to watch, and we'll see you next time. I already said that, didn't I? I repeat myself a lot. Wow. I did it again. See ya.